I want to sort of talk about my my hopes, dreams, and wild theories on what they could possibly do with the Ocarina of Time remake. So I got some notes, and I guess I'm just gonna go through these real fast. So today I want to talk about my hopes for the gameplay, the sort of map of Hyrule, and the characters, etc. With this remake happening, there's so many possibilities of what Nintendo could do. Like, we don't know if it's just a one-to-one remake, but they added a couple extra cutscenes, or if they're doing what I'm kind of hoping, and that's sort of gonna be the basis of, I guess, this video, is what if it's not a one-to-one remake? I would love to see, and I'll be happy either way, but I would love to see if they turn the remake into almost its own game, I suppose. Like, I would like to see the Ocarina of Time remake basically be a different game that simply expands upon Ocarina of Time's story. So I guess first off, I'll go into sort of Hyrule itself and what I'd like to see with that. When thinking about the land of Hyrule in Ocarina of Time and sort of how it could be expanded, I would love to see each area pretty much completely overhauled. Like, everything from Kokiri Forest to Zora's Domain and beyond. I'd like to see things in similar spots. Like, Kokiri Forest is at the bottom of the map, Hyrule Castle's straight ahead to the north, but I would like to see at least the individual locations, like, souped up, maybe altered slightly. So no cutscenes in between. I don't know. Seamless loading, that would actually be quite interesting. Sort of like a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom thing. I haven't quite thought about that. I would be fine either way. That would be cool if they could do like a seamless loading type thing, but I also would be fine if they did like there's still loading zones. I guess it kind of depends on how that affects the graphical side of things. It would be interesting to see if they could pull that off. Places being bigger. I think after the success of games like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and how those games are formatted, it would be interesting to see them sort of implement some of the things that they learned from making those games, like having extra things to do, for example, while traveling to places. Now, given Ocarina of Time the way it was designed, fundamentally, the original game, it didn't really have room for that per se. Like Hyrule Field, there's really not a whole lot to do in Hyrule Field, for example. It's kind of just, you travel through Hyrule Field because, well, of course there would be space through things, which is fine. It's not terrible, I don't think. But it would be interesting if they maybe gave more things to do along the way. Now, I don't know exactly how they plan on... We really don't know a whole lot about what Nintendo's plans are. Like, is it just going to be one-to-one or not? But if it isn't, it would be very cool to see the locations sort of shifted and adjusted to feel more fantastical and... I don't know, mystical, I guess. So, for instance, imagine, if you will, Link's house in the original game. Link's house in Kokiri Forest, it's kind of just in the middle of, like, their little, like, I don't know, town or hub or what have you. When you play Ocarina of Time, you kind of learn that minor spoilers for Ocarina of Time. It'll take like 5 seconds to say. Minor spoilers, Link isn't a Kokiri. And I would find it interesting if they did little visual storytelling things to almost imply this. Maybe Link's house could still be in the middle, but perhaps it's maybe just a tiny bit farther away. To sort of like subtly imply like, oh, that's interesting. How come he doesn't live as close as everyone else? I know that Link's house is already kind of like a tree house, like he's already kind of got a little bit of a different thing going compared to everyone else. It would be interesting to see little things like that. Like, how far are they willing to go with changing things. Or, for example, another thing in Kokiri Forest, the quest to get the Kokiri sword, which is pretty much like almost instantaneous beginning of the game. You sort of just crawl through a tiny little hole, and next thing you know, you're in a super small maze, and there's just a magical boulder of infinitely rolling in a circular pattern to stop you from getting the Kokiri sword. Which, if they want to keep that, I mean, that's fine. But it is kind of silly. I think it would be kind of interesting, especially if they're going for this semi-realism look. It would be interesting to see how they could change things to maybe feel a little bit more grounded sometimes. I don't think that they should change everything, obviously. So a lot of the charm of Ocarina of Time is, you know, some of the silly things. For example, Goron City. In Goron City, you have gigantic super duper mega Gorons that are like 7,000 feet tall. I don't think they should change those. I think they should keep them. Imagine the spectacle that they could have keeping some of those that big, and like imagine an epic cutscene where like you first encounter like the really tall one that's on the top of Death Mountain or something. Like it would be cool to see them expand the game, showing more of Link's reactions and stuff, but I am getting a little bit ahead of myself there. Oh yeah, or for example, when leaving Kokiri Forest, there's sort of just one bridge. You head to the exit, it takes you to a separate area, there's a singular bridge, you head out, and then you're just kind of out of the forest. If you remember the beginning of Majora's Mask, which it's hard to say if Link truly was in Kokiri Forest still during that time, it's hard to say, but they show like a vast forest with trees and fog and that sort of thing. Like imagine, if you will, Link leaving Kokiri Forest was maybe a little bit more dramatic. I know we obviously have the sad cutscene with Saria being like, oh, you're leaving, that's too bad. You know, here's this ocarina to remember me by. Maybe that still happens on the bridge, but maybe it takes a little bit longer to get to the bridge. Like, maybe it's a tiny little segment in and of itself. Almost akin to, I guess, Twilight Princess. Leaving the main town of Orden, I believe it is, it takes a small bit of time. There's a little bit of distance to get away from there. I feel like little things like that, it would add to the suspension of disbelief, I guess, if that's the right term. Hyrule Castle, because that is kind of like the next thing you see once you leave Kokiri Forest, you go across Hyrule Field. I can't say that I necessarily have any like super big ideas on what they could change with that, but I would love to see Link's reaction to interacting with such a completely different world than he's seen before. Pretty much with the exception of like, I don't know, being born and probably seeing his parents maybe a little bit as a baby. Link's never seen an adult. Like if I'm remembering the story correctly, like Link's only lived in Kokiri Forest. It would be cool to see like him in awe as people are going about the place, just going about their business, buying and selling. Hyrule, or like Castletown or whatever it's called. Even in the original game, like there's people doing all sorts of things. There's street performers, there's some dude who looks like a wizard, there's chickens running around the place. It would be so awesome to see that from a perspective of like Link being sort of in shock. I mean, thinking about the Star Fox remake that they recently announced and how they're expanding detail, adding extra cutscenes and story, I can't help but imagine if they're willing to do that with the Star Fox remake, it is very likely the Ocarina of Time remake will be a similar approach. The difference being Ocarina of Time is a much larger game in terms of scope and different things almost, I suppose. It definitely seems like it would be a lot more work than the Star Fox remake, so I'm hoping that they're still willing to expand on those things. I can only imagine from Hyrule Castle and that sort of thing, what they could do with that. I mean, imagine the mission where you have to go to Hyrule Castle to sneak in and talk to Princess Zelda. They could expand upon it and make it more of like a stealth segment almost. I feel like that would be quite cool. There's even things that I can't imagine what they'd change with the Temple of Time. Like the Temple of Time, and even in the original game, I haven't played the Nintendo 64 version, I only played the 3DS version, so when I think of Ocarina of Time, just know that's what's popping into my head. I see the 3DS version. But regardless, what could they even change with the Temple of Time? Just, I don't know, make it feel more like, I don't know, maybe have chairs for people or something? I don't know. More akin to like, I don't know, the churches in Dragon Quest or something? I don't know. Or heck, just leave it the same. I don't know. It's already a cool location as is. Man, imagine thinking about it. In the original Nintendo 64 game, the Temple of Time is just a 2D picture. In the original game, the Temple of Time's outdoors is just, it's just a picture, that's it. It's kind of crazy. And then in the 3DS game, I think they modeled it a little bit, but imagine being able to explore like the courtyard of the Temple of Time, like imagine being able to like walk around the Temple of Time and be able to just like see the outsides. You can look through the windows and see what's inside. That alone feels like such a cool thing. The Sheikah stones maybe have their own little location. They're not just kind of out in the front like it's a parking lot. I feel like that would be so cool. Man, I can only imagine the Happy Mask shop. Dude, just seeing the Happy Mask salesman in a new light like this. Y'all remember that animation that was really popular back in the day of, it was called like A Terrible Fate or something like that. It was sort of like a realistic version of one of the cutscenes in Majora's Mask or something like that. The people that made that went on to make, they went on to make a video game after a while. I see it in my head. I'll have to pull up a picture in the video because I can't think off the top of my head what it's called. I just remember it has like the adorable little black fuzzy creatures. Like, they're so adorable. I love them. I've never played the game, but they're just so cute. But those people, like that animation, seeing the Happy Mask salesman in like an official light in that sort of style it'll be so awesome. It'll be like reliving like childhood memories, but at the same time, like they weren't like official things. It's like seeing something unofficial made official almost. It's kind of crazy to think. And I suppose I'll discuss this. I don't know if this will be good for the video or not, but it's interesting how a lot of people have an aversion right now to realism in game remakes, or even just in games in general right now. A lot of people have had a negative reaction to the looks of the Ocarina of Time remake based purely off of the trailer, and I don't think that they are wrong to have that opinion. Realism has been, I don't know if I'll say overdone, but we don't have the shock value of new graphics so much to shock us into sort of just accepting this is how things look anymore. The jump from Ocarina of Time to Wind Waker was obviously a shock back then to people. But if we skip Wind Waker and we go from Ocarina of Time to Twilight Princess, Twilight Princess went for realism, and that was sort of what people were wanting back then. But now it's funny, we've gotten to a point where Zelda has now attempted to do a realism-based game, and people are disappointed. It's funny, we've gone completely backwards from what happened with The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. I do think, seeing as we've had years of games, and with this being the first time Nintendo's done something sort of like this, a realistic style of Zelda games pretty much since Twilight Princess, if you think about it. I do think I have very little doubts that the Ocarina of Time remake will be successful, at least in terms of like sales numbers. But I do find it funny that times have changed and we're having the same thing all over again, just in reverse. I find that very funny. I personally think it will be easier or better to judge the look of the game once we actually see gameplay. We have only seen the intro cutscene. What I'm looking for when the game starts to get revealed more is like how Link moves, how his character is rigged. Knowing Nintendo, they're going to make it look good, look premium. Nintendo doesn't do sloppy usually when it comes to making their characters move and having it look good and feel right. I really doubt this is going to be it's like these, like the fan projects that are out there of Ocarina of Time thingamajigs. So I really doubt that it's going to be like that. But anyways, I suppose that's kind of a different topic than my hopes for me, but it also kind of applies, so I don't know, I'll figure out where to put that. Polygon Zelda. Man, that's actually gonna be crazy to see, I want to see more characters. I want to see the way everyone else looks. Like, what are the Zora gonna look like? Dude, okay, guys, okay, I want to talk about this next. Because I was just thinking about, like, dude, it's so easy to forget how many crazy things happen in Ocarina of Time. And you bringing that up, Melee-Yuki, that actually brings up a really good point. Lord Jabu Jabu and like Zora's Domain, we're getting a realistic style of game where you can see the individual fibers on Link's clothes. Okay, you see where I'm going with this? I'm scared, yeah. Think about it. There's an entire dungeon that takes place inside of the belly of a giant fish god thing that the Zora worship. Like, we're gonna have to explore every single intestine and see all of these details. Like, brother. Puke emoji. Look, let me put it like this. Lord Jabu Jabu is gonna look crazy inside and out. It's gonna be absolutely crazy seeing these places, even in a 1-to-1 remake. Like, even if they, for some reason, were just like, hey, it's just the same game, we're doing the 3DS thing again. Just the visual fidelity alone is going to be insane. The Re-Dead redesign. Dude, I was looking at Instagram the other day after like the direct happened, and someone put a thing up and it was like things I'm looking forward to seeing in the remake. I forgot about the Re-Deads, dude. Those things scared me so bad as a kid. I practically erased them from my memory. I completely forgot about them. Or the dead hand thing, like, dude, I've got to say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also like terrified. The fairy, oh no. The great fairy, I didn't even think. Yeah, I don't know about that one. We'll get to that when it happens. I don't want to think about that. Perhaps they'll redesign them to make them a bit more appropriate. Perhaps. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, they'll probably do that. Maybe, yeah, that was, oh boy. Thinking about games that start off kind of like normal and then turn into like having scary moments, I like that more. Maybe because I grew up with Ocarina of Time, it was my first Zelda game, but I like the idea of a game having a scary moment in it as opposed to just being solid horror. Like, I mean, I've never played a horror game, so I don't know. But, like, I've watched people play horror games and stuff. But, like, for instance, Halo. I know... Okay, I'm switching from one green character to another, but I'll be quick. In Halo, there is a moment that the game's tone kind of shifts. I won't say much more than that. But it's very similar to Zelda, how, like, all of a sudden you go to the bottom of the well and it's like, oh... I don't want to be here anymore. Like, when the game starts off kind of normal and then switches to that, I love that. And so seeing Ocarina of Time redone in this style and seeing that is going to be amazing. I would love to see... it'll be so cool to see them, you know, expand upon these things. I guess it also kind of ties into what I would also like to see for the game. Places like Zora's Domain and Goron City. I would love to see these places and have them be a complete spectacle. Because, for instance, when you go to Goron City is laid out it's very unique. You enter in at the top and like you go to the bottom, like it's like this weird, I don't know, like cone-shaped place. Imagine what they could do now. Like, I've kind of had this question when I was like trying to write down notes for this. Like, where do the Gorons like sleep? Do they have houses? Do they just kind of like, all right, it's nighttime. Like they just sleep wherever? Like, I haven't played like the Breath of the Wild Tears of the King. I don't know if in those games they like address like, do they have houses? I mean, they have like, apparently they have like a construction crew. I haven't played up to that point in the game, but like, I don't know. That is something. It would be cool to see, at least for like Zora's Domain. Maybe not so much. Maybe Goron City, it's not as necessary. Like the Goron are a very unique tribe with very unique habits, like eating rocks. But they do have houses now, sort of. That's something I was thinking about. Like, where do they live? Because like in most of the games, you don't really see that. Yeah, but in the older games they don't, I think. Yeah, they kind of just exist. Like, I mean, I guess if you can curl up into a ball and you kind of just look like a boulder, I mean, you kind of can just sleep wherever. It's almost like I don't know, like an armadillo or something rolling up. The whole mountain is their home, I suppose. Yeah, that makes sense. I suppose it would be kind of interesting to see them have some sort of dwellings. Dude, all I can think about when I think of Goron City is like, what about that one Goron that's just kind of cooped up in that one hole that you get like, you get something from it. What is it? Like the big Goron knife or something? Shoutouts to Ocarina of Time for teaching me that knife is spelled with a K and it's not pronounced knif. But like, I can't wait to see that, dude. It's just like, bro, how'd you get in here? Why are you so big? Like that'll be so cool to see. I would also, I'm really looking forward to seeing, like, is it Darunia? Maybe that's a different Goron, but like, what about Mr. Really Likes the Lost Woods theme guy? It'd be cool to see his like throne room be like decked out a little bit more or something. I don't know. I would love to see places like Death Mountain and whatnot, just their layouts changed, but still kind of similar. That would be so cool. And then, I don't know, Gerudo Valley, I can't really think of like how they change that. I mean, I don't know. It'll be cool to, man, imagine seeing the the canyon in such high fidelity. Song of Storms guy redesign. Ooh, dude, that would be awesome to see. Like, not Kokiri, Kakariko Village. Kakariko Village is already a very decent village design. So like, I don't know if they really need to do a whole lot to it, but it'll be so interesting to see like the grumpy expression on Windmill Guy's like face, or like seeing him just freak out over, I can't believe you played this song. Like, that'll be so cool. Or Dompe, dude. The creepy segments of the game, the graveyard with Dompe, dude, seeing high fidelity Dompe is gonna go crazy. That's gonna be very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the little kid that runs around in the graveyard too. Like, I know he's kind of like a minor character in the game, but like, it'll be cool to see like, it'll be so cool to see all the different characters, the Cuckoo lady, the different houses, like that one house that just has that one house that has the like the cow in it for no reason. Like, why is this cow in a cage in your house? Like, brother, where's your farm? Like, what did the cow do? What crime did he commit to be deserved to lock? Like, what did he do to get locked up in there? Oh yeah, the beans guy. Like, he's always so chill. Like, the beans guy, it's just all he does, just yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing like the major locations of the game and how they could be changed and expanded to sort of feel more lively, more present, more fantastical than what they were able to achieve on the Nintendo 64. That for being the first 3D Zelda game, Ocarina of Time, the original, is still a monumental, fantastic game. But I would absolutely, I am so looking forward to seeing just the details and everything. Like, even in the trailer for what we saw, Link's house, just the little snippets, like his straw bed, the wood, just everything. I mean, heck, seeing Link without his hat even, that was a shock to me. Because in Ocarina of Time, I really don't think you see him without his hat, like, ever. I'm pretty sure he even sleeps with it, I think. I could be wrong. I still need to go back, and he was born with the hat. It'll be so cool to go to Lon Lon Ranch. I'm gonna be honest, Lon Lon Ranch, even if it isn't a one-to-one remake and they just go crazy, I feel like Lon Lon Ranch is kind of perfect. Do they really need to change much with Lon Lon Ranch? I don't know. It'll just be cool to see all the different characters and stuff like that. You know what? This is kind of different for a story thing that I hope they play into. I really hope that they play into Link liking what's her name in Ocarina of Time? M something. Like what's the daughter of Lon Lon Ranch farmer man that looks like Mario? Malin? Is it Malin? That might be it. I always get it confused with Majora's Mask, the people in that one. But I think they have different names in Majora's Mask. But yeah, Malin. I would love to see them play into the idea of Link liking Malin. Like I've always, even ever since being a little kid and seeing that dialogue option where like, what is it, Talon, I guess, if it's Malin and Talon or something, like I would love to see them play into the idea of Link liking her. I've always pictured in my head, like, if Link picked a person to get married to in Ocarina of Time, I would love if they implied at least somehow that Link picked her over Zelda or Princess Ruto. Don't pick Princess Ruto, please. I know they did the thing in Breath of the Wild where Link originally liked Mipha. That's cool. That's cool for Breath of the Wild. Like, do whatever. Like, they're all created by the goddess Hylia or whatever. They're all like part of the same human-ish species. Like, they can do whatever with that. I don't know. That's still kind of strange, but like, hey, they can do whatever. But in Ocarina of Time specifically, bro, go the Malin route. That's like oh yeah, and Saria as well. Yeah, there was Zelda, Ruto, Saria, and then Malin. Yeah, Link had a lot of options in Ocarina of Time. My personal hope, I hope that like they imply, I don't know, they got married at the end or something. Like maybe there's like a hidden cutscene if you get 100% with like Link knocking on their door or something. I don't know. I feel like that'd be so sweet, but one can only dream, I suppose. I feel like that'd be a sweet thing, dude. Even growing up playing Ocarina of Time, like Princess Ruto, she is so pushy. Like, it's so funny. Like, it'll be fun to read all these characters' dialogue again and like see, you know, their personalities and all that. That'll be so fun. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it'll be cool to see what they do with that. Whatever Link wants, go for. Yeah. Oh man. I guess I'll talk briefly about the gameplay for the game. So Zelda's kind of had like the same gameplay style for a long time, sort of until Skyward Sword. Like, they've obviously expanded upon things. Like, you had the 2D Zeldas, you just got a simple sword slash. You had Ocarina of Time, which like completely gave you a bunch of extra options that aren't ever necessary to really expand and use. But you've got all sorts of different sword slashes depending on whether you hold a direction, you don't hold a direction, that sort of thing. And they vary and change depending on which Zelda game you play, whether it's Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, they tried to expand Link's moveset. Like, in Wind Waker, they gave Link the parry, which was always fun. If not, the sound that plays every time that happens was, I feel like I got jump scared by that a couple of times, like, yeah. Oh, I parried, nice. And then in Twilight Princess, they gave Link so many different moves. I haven't beaten Twilight Princess, I only got to the snow area, and then our TV broke. And so we ended up getting a new one, and it didn't have the ports for the Wii to connect to, so I kind of had to stop. I would like to restart Twilight Princess, though. It's been long enough where I would like to go through that game again. But in that game, like, Link can like do a shield bash, he can do like some crazy roll thing, and like some like you risk getting hit, but you do like a counter type thing. Like they did a bunch of stuff with Twilight Princess that was so cool. And then you got Skyward Sword. They completely changed the way the game even plays. So like, I almost don't know if that almost even counts. Then you go to, oh yeah, Breath of the Wild. Duh, I was like, which game is next? Breath of the Wild, it sort of brought things back to closer to the originals. Obviously, you're not swinging a Wii remote around or anything like that. But they changed quite a lot of things. Like, you now can do like slow-mo dodges and flips, and like you can do a shield parry like whenever. They changed the gameplay in that way. I'm very curious to see if they go to the classic route, the Breath of the Wild route, or if they're gonna fundamentally change the way the game plays again. Like in this remake, what are they gonna do? I don't really have any like specific desires for how the game should play. I really can't say I'd be disappointed or upset with anything. It's Nintendo. They're very likely not going to be like, all right, Ocarina of Time is a Souls-like now. We've come full circle in the gaming space. Now attack is on right trigger or ZR or whatever. I highly doubt they would do that. But I don't know. I'm curious to see how much they're willing to change with Link's moveset. I know some of the enemies in Ocarina of Time are a little, I don't want to say they're like bad or confusing to fight entirely. But watching other people play the game, they can be a little bit tricky to like, wait, how do you actually hit like the Stalfos? Like, do you just kind of have to get lucky? Like, I feel like they kind of have that issue sometimes. So I would be interested to see how they'll reform the combat. And then I guess pretty much the last thing to talk about will be like the dungeons. How they are going to possibly change the dungeons. Obviously, the original dungeons are very good. I think that they, for being the first 3D Zelda dungeons with 3D puzzles and all that, I think they did a very good job. I would not be surprised if they don't change too much. However, whether they decide to rehaul all the dungeons and make them almost completely different or not, we all kind of know there's probably one dungeon, if they're not going to change any, except for one, that's going to get a change. And that's the Water Temple. How much you want to bet the Water Temple is getting a major change and makeover? As if it hasn't happened already, they're doing it as we speak, and we're trying to get the finishing touches on that. I know at one point, I feel like I remember replaying through the game. I don't know for sure, but I remember thinking like, okay, I figured it out, but that was after having played through so many video games and that sort of thing. First time players' experience with Water Temple is not good. Fun fact, my sister, I have two sisters, but one of them, the one that usually is less interested in video games, not the one that has 600 hours in Tears of the Kingdom, that's a different one, but one of my sisters, she actually was kind of interested in playing Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. She named Link Megatron, which was so funny. I always name Link in the games where they give you the chance to rename him. I never change it. Like, it's so funny. Yeah, Megatron. Like, it's so funny. Like, just hearing like, hello Megatron, you need to stop Ganondorf. Like, dude, that was so funny. But unfortunately, the Water Temple, she played through the whole game. She barely needed any hints. She only used the in-game hint system when she needed it. The Water Temple was too much. She got through the whole thing, but even the boss fight in the Water Temple, that was just too much. And she was like, all right, I guess I'm done with the game. I won't continue. So with that, obviously, that's just one person, but the Water Temple's notorious. I mean, I wish I had this image I'm thinking of in my head, but there's like this meme, I'll have to find it for the video, but like, I lied, I don't have Netflix. Sit down, we're going to the Water Temple and we're finding that last small key. And there's like a gun pointed at you or whatever. Like, if they're not gonna change anything, they're changing the Water Temple. That is a guarantee. So I'll be curious to see how much they're going to change. Are they going to keep it the same tower structure, or is it going to be like completely different? Because the water temple like solidified people hating water levels in games. I feel like that was like the thing that like cemented that in history. So I would love to see that change. Maybe not love, but I'll accept it either way if they do change it. Like, come on, there's no way they keep it. All the other dungeons, though, I really don't have any quarrels with, except for how scary the Spirit Temple is gonna be. So, fun fact about me, I guess actually no, fun fact about Ocarina of Time, not me. In the original game and in the 3DS game, there's a glitch you can do that skips 90% of the Spirit Temple. Because in the Spirit Temple in the original game, I really don't think you get any like progression-based items. You get your progression-based item like before going there, if I recall. But there's a glitch you can do with the hook shot, and if you like clip the hook shot in like a certain spot, you can like grapple onto a box. Yeah, I did that. I won't lie, I did that. The Spirit Temple was too scary for me as a kid. So now that I am much older and can I can tank it. I won't run away. I can do this. I'll actually get to see it for the first time. I probably would have done the same. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. I don't remember if I watched my brother play it or if I played the temple myself. Yeah, that's sort of an advantage of having siblings, I guess. It's like, hey, this portion's too scary. Can you do it for me? Like, I know I asked my dad multiple times, like, I don't want to do this. Like, can you help? When I play the game. Yeah, it'll be cool to actually see the Spirit Temple for the first time. In all of its terrifying glory that I'm going to try to remove from my mind so that way I don't think about it for the next 5 months or however long till the game comes out. But yeah, I don't know, I guess that's I think that's pretty much it. Other than that, I'm just gonna love to see how they expand the story. It'll be cool to see. It'll be interesting to see how much voice acting they add in the game. Like, is it going to be partial? Is it going to be full? I wouldn't be surprised if it's partial. I mean, I really have no quarrels with partial voice acting in games. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom, that game's like that. Other games I've played, like, I really don't have any problems with it, but I know the Star Fox remake, that's full voice acting. But there's also only like 10 characters in that game, so it's a little bit easier to do full voice acting. Ocarina of Time, there's like 7 trillion characters. Not really, but like, yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm very excited for the prospect and idea of what the Ocarina of Time remake could be. And I hope you guys are as well. What are your guys' thoughts on the Ocarina of Time remake? Do you guys have a bunch of wishes and ideas you'd like to see in the game? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyways, that's going to be it for me for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Stay coolin', everyone. Bye-bye.